So it's kind of the start of a new week. I've had a bit of a mess about of a day today. We started stripping this engine down last week. We started stripping the whole bike down, and we got to the engine part, and we found some gouges in the barrel, so the barrel needed to be rebored and this, that and the other. Anyway, the piston arrived over the weekend, took it to get rebored this morning, sat in traffic for about an hour waiting to get there, got to the guy who normally does it for me, and because of the way the Maico barrel is, it's got the fins that lift up. He can't clamp it down into his machine, so I had to take it somewhere else. So I've basically just been sat in traffic for most of the day. It's been horrendous. Anyway, so we're now at the stage. So last week like I said, we got the top end off. On Friday, the last job that we did was we took the flywheel off. If you remember, that was stuck on the end of the crank. So we cut a bolt down and followed the instructions in the manual, and then that still wasn't working, so we heated it up and we used a bit of WD-40 and this, that and the other, and then eventually it came free. So that was where we're up to. So then I've took the barrel to get rebored this morning. I've just literally unbolted this. I've drained the oil. There's nasty residue in the bottom of the cases, so it's not the healthiest. And I've just took the case off. Case is easy to take off. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take this drive off. This is the drive that's off the back of the crank, and it's on a chain, and it's the chain that drives the clutch on this bike. I don't know whether you remember, but I said that previously when I've done these, I had to make a tool which basically presses the clutch in. So you wind the tool in and it presses the clutch in, and then there's a snap ring here. It enables you to remove this snap ring without releasing the tension off the clutch, because behind that, instead of it using springs, it uses some dished washers. If you weren't able to hold that and then release it slowly, those dish washers would effectively explode at you with the rest of the clutch. So we need to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this drive off and the chain, and then I'm going to look at what tools that I've got here that I might be able to modify or use to press that clutch in, to then remove the clip and then release it, so that we can remove the clutch and take that apart. So that's where we're at. So I'll just I'll make a start, and then I'll catch up with you on any of the particularly interesting parts. Okay, so unfortunately I had to go in and do some jobs, so I didn't get back to this yesterday, but when I left you last night, I was going to have a look around the garage and see what tools I've got that might be able to do this job. So basically, as I explained, there's the centre of the clutch here. We need to press the centre of the clutch in, and then we need to release this ring here, this snap ring, and once that's released, we can then slowly take the pressure off the clutch, and then the middle of the clutch will come out with all of there's a series of dished washers. So like one washer will be like this, and then the one next to it will be like this, and so they produce like a spring effect. It's not the way we do it these days, and in fact this clutch design is like backwards, so we need to push this in, so the springs are acting to push against the plate at the front, as opposed to pushing the plate at the front backwards. So effectively it's a backwards design. So anyway, so what I'd done last time is I actually made a 2-leg puller, and one leg went in behind here and the other leg went in behind here, and that is the actual design of the Maico tool. I don't have any 2-leg pullers here, and what I've been having a look for, I was looking for a similar kind of puller, and I thought I'd hit the jackpot but no. But what I've got here is I've got a crankcase separator. So this has got 3 legs and it bolts into holes on the crankcase. This would be to mount the clutch cover onto the crankcase. So you've got these legs here that screw into the crankcase itself, and then you've got this 3-way piece which goes between the 3. So you've got 3 mount points, and then you've got these bolts which bolt through here and then into these locators, and then you've got this, which is the bit that does the pressing itself. Now this has got quite a it's like a V, if you like a cone shape, like a point. Now I don't want the point to go into the clutch and cause any damage, so I'm just going to use this piece of, it's actually an offcut from something that I was making on the lathe, but it's already got a centre hole there, so I'm just going to stick that on. So I haven't tested this, I don't know if it's going to work properly or not. So I'm going to put that in between the clutch centre and the tool. So that's going to go on the sharp bit of this tool, and then I'm going to screw that in to take the pressure up. Now we don't need to produce a huge amount of force. We need to take the tension off. Look at that, it's bad, isn't it? We need to take the tension off that ring, that snap ring that I was talking about. And then we need to be able to slowly unwind the clutch. A bit more centered there. So let's tighten that up. Now if this doesn't work, one of my other ideas was to stick it on the hydraulic press. Quite a bit of tension there, so let's see if that will enable us to so the snap ring has started coming out there. Going to get in and see if I can get something smaller in there to, so one of my picks should do. Yeah, and that's starting to come, and then I'll work it from, maybe won't work it from that side. Let's get it all over. There we go, and our snap ring is off, and then we can wind our tool back. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin the engine onto its back, onto its side. Sorry, should I say? And spin the engine onto its side so that the springs are going to stay in their correct order. There we go. Continue winding that off. And there we go, there's no pressure left on there now. So that tool has worked perfectly for this job. Very pleased with that, I'll be honest with you. I have memories of this being a bit of a nightmare job when I first did it, so I wasn't looking forward to doing it without the tool that I'd meant to do it in the past. But this one has worked an absolute treat. and I didn't have to make it. I just had to discover that I had it and that it could be used for this purpose. So how this would normally work is that these legs would effectively screw into the crankcase. So I'll demonstrate that maybe later on today. They'd screw into the crankcase, and then this section here would push against the end of the crank, and then obviously it will push the case, the crankcase off. Feeling there is another one of these rings in there. Okay, so as I separate these, I'm going to keep them in order. So I'm going to put them down here in my tray. Yeah, there's definitely another ring in there. And this is going to go on top of the ring. But I don't think, maybe we do need to press it, I'm not sure. Then we've got the friction plate. And then, where's our magnet? There it is. That's behind the ring. So we're going to have to press this again. I was a bit too premature taking that off then. We'll just do this a little bit in time lapse, so you don't get too bored, and we'll show you it coming off. There we go then. That's the clutch removed. So these are the washers that I was talking about. Hopefully you can see they're dished, and they're in sets of two. So there's two kind of facing up, and then there's two opposed, and then it goes all the way through that series. So it's that creates the spring tension, and it's very important that they stay like that, because otherwise the tension on the clutch plate isn't going to be right, and therefore your clutch won't work properly. So what we've got is the drive gear that comes off the crank and the primary drive chain. Now I've ordered a new primary drive chain for this, so we'll be replacing that, but I've cable tied it together anyway. Then we've got the actual clutch basket itself. I don't know whether you can see, but there's a few little notches in there, so I'm gonna clean them up, or look and see if I can find a better one. Then, like I say, we've got the center of the clutch. So when the clutch is engaged, disengaged, this is the bit that's going to spin freely, and it's that effectively produces the drive. So this goes back through to the gearbox, and it's this that produces the drive off the clutch basket itself, and then back into the gearbox, and then we've got the clutch plates and those two snap rings and everything like that. Now I've got new clutch plates coming as well, but I've cable tied the whole lot together again, just so that it's all together and it's all in the right order. So when we're coming to put in the thing back together, we know exactly how it goes and there's going to be no mistakes. So there we go. That's the next part of the disassembly of the engine, removal of the clutch. Hopefully that's the most difficult part of this engine. I certainly remember on the last one that I did, that was the worst bit. But that bit's now done, so the rest of it should be a little bit more straightforward. Please like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just search Phoenix Motos.